Hey, yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today I'm going to be going over the win-and-end round at the most recent Champions League that featured toward Reklev and his pretty wild Ogre Pawn deck against Enz Zorak. Now, this is going to be post-rotation, so this is going to be the format that we're going to be seeing in just a couple of months, and yeah, this is going to be toward at the record of 12-2 to make top cut at the Champions League. You need to go 13-2 to get yourself a guaranteed spot in that top cut, which is just absolutely crazy. It also is best of one as well. Thousands and thousands of players compete in these tournaments in Japan, and there have been some players from North America and Europe recently that have been going over to compete in these events toward being one of those players. So here we have that Ogre Pawn box. Pretty much how this deck works is, since Manaphy does not exist in the post-rotation format, things like Wellspring Ogre Pawn are really powerful with that bench snipe. If Tord is able to get off a Crispin and then attack with that torrential pump really quickly, they can board wipe very fast. So pretty much the goal of this deck is to use cards like Noctowl to search for things, you know, like Crispins and just ways to be able to power it up. You also have cards like the Teal Mask as well to get some of those energies onto the board. You have their brand new Clefairy also, which can hit weakness on things like Dragapult. So you have tons of different cool cards that you can play. And on the other side, we have that Enz Zorak with that ability Trade, which reads, you just get to discard a card from your hand, and if you do, you get to draw 2 cards. So great for consistency. And then its attack copies one of your Enz Pokemon on the bench, which means that you can use, you know, things like the Enz Darmanitan, which can snipe multiple things on the board. Much more powerful card, I would say, in this format, just because Manaphy, does not exist. If it was a card, that wasn't a format with, Manaphy, it probably wouldn't be necessarily very good. But since Manaphy does not exist in this format, it's really powerful. Also plays things like the Reshiram as well, which deals 20 times 20 for each damage counter on your Zorak. So if your Zorak does take a lot of damage, you can just, hit back for, crazy amounts of damage. So here we do see the Zorak player getting out a couple of the Zaruas. Really cool artwork there. And they also have Budu. So they're going to be able to use that item lock on this next turn. However, if Tord is able to get a torrential pump off and take multiple prize cards, then the Zorak player is definitely going to be in a sketchy situation. So here we go. We see a couple of Zaruas hit the board. I'm not 100% sure what else they're going to do this turn, but Tord has a great start. Tord used that Ditto's ability to go into the Fan Rotom and Fan Rotom to get themselves those Terra types. And yeah, we see the Darumaka hit the board there, going to be setting up for that bench snipe. One of the things in this format that I kind of noticed is, bench sniping is, really good because of, no Manaphy and things like that Darmanitan, really powerful. So the item lock has been put on to this Fan Rotom here. Tord, consulting the hand, has a Crispin, so is going to be able to go into that Ogre Pawn here from the looks of it, if he's able to retreat that Fan Rotom, which he should be able to because he can use Crystal to attach to the Ogre Pawn. That's another cool thing that this deck plays. It does play the Crystal, so you can attach the Crystal, and you can attach 1 for turn from Crispin, and then just, manually retreat. So definitely, pretty possible. Tord also plays, some pretty cool cards like that Pikachu. The Pikachu, can be used in some situations. But, against a lot of these, kind of setup-based decks, you're going to be trying to board wipe them as quickly as possible. So, Tord looking here, going to be getting that Crystal, definitely makes a lot of sense. The other card is kind of interesting because Tord actually has a Crispin already in hand. So he has pretty much everything he needs in this spot. And looks like just going to get a Nest Ball for that next turn, because Tord is going to be breaking that item lock here by knocking out that Budu. So we do see Crispin coming out here. We do see a couple of energies, just going to be 1 to retreat and 1 to attach to that Ogre Pawn. Needs a water energy. I guess actually doesn't really need the water energy because he can just simply use the Crystal, which, that can cover the water energy, which is, really nice. So very easy to attack with these Pokemon. And yeah, going to choose to save the water energy just for a little bit later if potentially he goes in with another torrential pump at some point. So we do see the Psychic there, and then one of the energies go into hand. We are going to see that energy attachment onto the Fan Rotom, most likely. Yep, there's the energy attachment going into the Ogre Pawn. There is the Crystal, and now we're going to see that Snipe, most likely taking out that Zorua with the energy there, and boom. Oh, looks like going after the Darumaka. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I guess respecting the bench snipe is actually, I guess, pretty reasonable. So I guess because the Zoroark player can, just load up a Zoroark anyways with, PP up, I think that, maybe just choosing to take out the support Pokemon here is a little bit better. And it looks like that's what Tord is deciding to do. So yeah, like definitely makes sense there. The more you kind of think about it, we see a Pheasantipity hit the board. There is that Flip the Script, drawing 3 cards, very, very powerful card in the format right now, and also for that, post rotation. So here we go. Let's see what the opponent decides to do. Got a Zoroark here. Can use that trade ability, discard, draw 2. Super, super consistent, just being able to burn through your deck, get rid of those cards you might not need in specific matchups. Looks like trading that PP up away, drawing 2 cards. I guess doesn't necessarily feel like he needs it here. And yeah, we'll see exactly what it ends up doing. There is another Zoroark hitting the board. We see another trade, discarding a boss's orders, drawing 2 cards. I'm not 100% sure exactly how many bosses this player does play, but if they play 3 or 4, then getting rid of 1 is totally fine. So here we go. We have a couple Zoroarks on the board, a Zora as well. You probably want to attack this turn if you can, but there's not really any good attackers that you have. Because, if you bench something like the Reshiram, copying the Outrage attack doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. You don't have also, a Darumaka on the board, so you can't turn it into a Darmanitan. So at this point, honestly, the more I look at it, yeah, definitely sniping that Darumaka makes the most sense, just because there's really no good attacker here. And I think that's why, this person promoted the Zorora here. So that's, pretty cool. So yeah, pretty good situation, for Tord. Yeah, and a pretty crazy deck. So yeah, here comes, I would assume, double Darumaka. I would assume, I don't think you necessarily need to bench something like Reshiram. Yeah, okay, here we go. There is the second Darumaka hitting the board. Now, this pretty much means that Tord would have to hit Attach for turn, Ogerpon, Energy Switch, Boss's Orders, snipe both of the Darumaka to, take an even bigger lead here if he's able to do that. And I guess it is hypothetically possible. I think it is, hypothetically possible that, he's able to do that with things, like that Energy Switch. Also has access, to Noctowl, so it actually is, pretty reasonable. So, all right, we do see something here. I actually am not 100% sure what happened. From what I was told, they might have not liked actually Tord shuffling the opponent's deck. So that was, kind of interesting there to see. And yeah, there's kind of a little bit of a judge call, or a little bit of like slowage of the game. And yeah, we'll kind of see what happens. This would be like a crazy thing if they gave, like a prize penalty or something for that, or like a warning for, shuffling the deck. Maybe it's just, considered disrespectful there. I'm not 100% sure. The only tournament I've played in, like in Japan, was the 2023 World Championship. So, but that's also ran, by TPCI. So, shuffling the opponent's deck is fine. Okay, so yeah, we just see the retreat there. Interesting. So yeah, pretty much just saying, I don't want you to take 2 more prize cards, because if Tord just has things like the Energy Switch play, then he can just take even more. However, Tord's actually not that far off. He just needs a couple pieces. He has the boss's orders. He needs an Ogerpon plus a Grass Energy and an Energy Switch. So he needs a few more cards here to actually pull off this play. There is the Nest Ball. On that Stadium card, really nice, giving free retreat to your ends Pokemon. Really, really good in these situations. Looks like Tord sifting through the deck here, trying to figure out what he wants. Big question is he going to go for that Ogerpon? Yes, it is going to be the Teal Mask Ogerpon here. Going to be able to get that. Looks like it does play a Terapagos as well. Kind of cool. I think that's a Terapagos. I could be wrong. But anyways, Ogerpon here coming out. We'll see what Tord ends up doing. I wonder if he's here, actually. Like I wonder if he actually is at the KO. Did he get there? He has boss's orders, we know. And it depends if he just has Energy Switch. If he has Energy Switch plus Energy... Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah. I think by the fact that he's, shuffling, it signals, yeah, there's a Grass Energy. So, gonna use Teal Mask, draw 1 card. Here we go. There is, was that a top deck of a Noctowl? Let's see. Okay. So, yeah, Tord pretty much has it here. He has the Energy. He has boss's orders. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Tord just has KO double Darumaka here if he just wants to get rid of both of them, which honestly I would do here, because that's the snipe thing. That's the thing you have to be, kind of worried about. And yeah, I bet he's gonna go for it. I think you have to, yeah, Nest Ball Energy Switch, or yeah, all right, Nest Ball Energy Switch, here we go. Going back in, going to use that Nest Ball here, potentially for something like Pheasantipity, maybe. Maybe you get just another, I don't know, like Pikachu, maybe. I guess another Ogerpon. There's definitely some things you could get here, but it looks like benching of the Hoot Hoot also put down that area 0 as well, so is going to be able to expand that bench here. So going to go all the way up to 8. There is the Nest Ball coming out here. The big question is what do you actually want? I think Pheasantipity seems like a safe option, just so you have more draw power, because, you know, they're going after Pheasantipity, they're not going after the Ogerpon with that crystal. If you have another Hoot Hoot, you could potentially go for that as well, but in this situation, I'd probably, you know, I guess go for Pheasantipity. That seems like the safe option. You could also get Latias. Oh, looks like going for Latias here. That seems fine too, just giving yourself a little bit more flexibility. I guess this also kind of makes sense too, but I feel like both of them would have maybe been okay. But anyways, looks like toward considering using an Ultra Ball here, or just trying to map this out. Yeah, it looks like, what are we Ultra Balling for? Yep, there's Ultra Ball, getting rid of the Turo and the Night Stretcher. We'll see what he's getting here. He might just get another Ogerpon, but we'll see. Okay, so there's the Fez. Okay, so he was going to get, you know, both of them anyway. So I guess I was right in some sense that, you know, getting Pheasantipity down was important. So, yep, Fez hits the board here. Very, very solid. And we'll see. Opponent shuffle up here. All right. See the Metal Energy. Here comes the Energy Switch as well, being used. And Boss's Orders bringing up the Darumaka. And we're going to see another Snipe play going down to 2 prizes. This is crazy. Already on the 3rd turn, just completely board wiped. You know, pretty much Zoroark's only way of actually doing stuff. So without those Darumakas, you just don't have much of anything. You just can't do much, because the problem with this Ends engine is it is so reliant on Darmanitan in the early portion of the game, and if it doesn't have it, that Reshiram's not doing very much either. It's not really doing any damage. You know, at the early, you know, stages of the game, if you're not actually, you know, damaging the Zoroark. So toward, you know, kind of just picking apart this Zoroark deck here, taking out the Darumakas, and now, I mean, what does the Zoroark player do? I mean, what can you attack with? I guess you could attack with Reshiram, because Reshiram has a 2nd attack, I believe, right? I don't know what you can really do here. Tord just now pretty much is an Ursaluna away, effectively, from winning. Could even also just set up like another, you know, like Ogre. I mean, yeah, there's just so many things you can do here. So, yeah, pressure is put on here. What do you possibly do? There is a Hoot Hoot on the board, so that could just become another Noctowl. You have Pheasantipity, so you also have, you know, hand disruption protection. You also have, you know, free retreat with that Skyliner ability from the Latias. There's another Zoroark. We see Counter Catcher being used, and Professor's Research as well. Choosing to keep the stadium here, which I guess is kind of interesting. But all right, so we'll see Fez drawing 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Is that a Monkey Dory? All right, let's see. So yeah, Ursaluna in the discard pile. Chose not to bench that too, which was kind of interesting as well. I guess just not having a whole lot of bench space. Now, going to be discarding. I guess what do you get rid of here? Probably just, yeah, you probably don't need the Taro anymore. But then again, keeping it around maybe would have been okay if Tor just like decided to punch into it. But there's Zoroark. There is another trade drawing 2 more. There's that Reshiram. Also, we see one of the PP ups. We also see a Defiance ban from the looks of it. So has some options here on things that he can do. But none of the options feel necessarily very good. He's not putting himself in a I can win on the next turn. It just seems like he's, you know, kind of behind here. But anyways, here comes the Reshiram. The Reshiram will be able to copy that 2nd attack. So we'll be able to do something. There is a Dark Energy. And that Reshiram is going to be able to punch here. And yeah, maybe he can put himself back in an okay spot. Honestly, I kind of would have maybe wanted to like hold that, you know, Turo just in case you needed it. So anyways, there it is, dealing a pretty decent chunk of damage, dealing 170. Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, it was either 170 or 190. Yeah, dealing 170, but like this just is not very much damage, you know, and Tord prepared for this, you know, getting that Latias onto the board to give himself free retreat. we do see the bench of the Mew as well, pretty much creating a situation where having Mew and Fez, makes your deck almost Iono proof in some ways, because you can always, if they like Iono you to 1, you can go Mew up to 3 and then Fez up to 6, just, really, really good in situations like this. So anyways, Tord here attaching onto the Fan Rotom. This does set up, I guess, for an Ursaluna KO, I guess, just like dealing this little bit of damage. Okay, so here we go. See trade coming out. Gonna be getting rid of the Darmanitan. Yeah, pretty much just ripped away the opportunity for that Darmanitan to actually be used. Now, from the Zoroark player's end, you can use Outrage to do a little bit of damage to something. I guess you could knock out like Pheasantipity if you wanted to, if you had a boss's orders, but not really a ton you can do. So anyways, drawing 2 here. We'll see what they decide. Have another trade as well. One of the cool things about this deck, you just draw a crazy amount of cards. You're just drawing so many cards here. So here comes another trade, 1 and 2. That's a super cool full art as well. There is a counter catcher. Okay, so has a also there's a prime catcher too. So maybe can just kind of work around this, take a couple prize cards this turn, try and set them up a little bit, but still, it's just kind of Tord has time. Tord has access to Mew, has access to Fez, so you're gonna have to take out those cards. But here we go. Eyeing up that Ultra Ball. We're going to see exactly what they end up getting here, getting rid of that. I would assume Power Glass. You probably don't need that. And also, we do see that Reversal Energy. Reversal Energy hasn't necessarily seen a whole lot of play recently. It used to be played in Gardevoir with that Shining Arcana, but most recently, once that card rotated last year, hasn't seen very much play, but has came back in this Zoroark deck. So we see the Ultra Ball here, getting rid of the Reversal. Just failing. It doesn't really look like there's much left. Looks like a bunch of energies, a couple draw supporters, things like that. There is the Monkey Dory though, so we are going to potentially see oh, here we go. Okay, so bringing this up, we're going to be seeing a KO on this and potentially Monkey Dory as well. So things are kind of coming together a little bit here. Going to be able to get this knockout on the Mew, and then potentially set up damage to maybe knock out the Pheasantipity later. Things are kind of coming together here. So we're going to see the Iono, put them down to 2 cards. Yeah, Tord goes down to 2 cards here. And we are going to see some stuff happen. So, all right, there we go. Taking that KO. Because it did do 200 the previous turn. And yeah, here we go. So the opponent is going to be, or Tord's opponent is going to be able to go down to 2 prizes here because of the Defiance and also weakness as well. And yeah, here we go. Does Tord find Ursaluna? What do you promote? All of the draw support on the board has been taken away. The Mew and the Pheasantipity. So what do you promote here? Let's see. The Zoroark player has played this pretty well, getting back in the situation. Promoting that, and the top deck for turn is the Ursaluna. And it looks yeah, and here it is. The bear has saved Tord. And a bench it, retreat, and take the knockout for game. Oh my goodness. Getting Iono'd to 2, and you draw those 2 cards. Absolutely insane. What an incredible game there. One of the crazier games that I've seen in quite some time. And yeah, those are 2 decks to expect in the post rotation. What an incredible performance. The Zoroark player fell so far behind, but came all the way back to give themselves a chance to actually win the game, showing just how powerful Zoroark is. And yeah, that is going to do it for today. What an incredible game by both of these players, giving themselves the best chances they had to win there from the looks of it. And yeah, that's going to do it. Shout out to Tord for taking it down with such a cool deck. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys found this video entertaining. I certainly found it fun to watch, but thanks for all the support. This is Smart TCG. I'll speak with you guys again soon. Peace out.